Document number 98. That's Kihoy motion to deny the intervention of perpetuating unique educational opportunities as a party to the contested case hearing. Opposition was filed by TIO at 1:45 and PUEO at 1:55. Okay, finally. Hi, Ms. Kihoy, good morning.
Belina Maikako, before I defend my motion, I just want to say to the members of PUEO that I meant no disrespect at all to you when I wrote this. And I prayed for all of you while I was on the summit yesterday, because I will not let this process divide our community and our people. So, I respectfully ask for you to not declare my motion as untimely. Forgive me, I am a pro se individual, and I'm still trying to understand the deadlines and the timing of all of these things. As the record will show, according to the hearings officer, we were instructed to file our witness lists and all pre-hearing motions, and for my interpretation, I understood that that meant any and all motions, whether it was regarding the intervention of another party. And so whether it was argued that I was given the opportunity on that day of June 17th, when we had our second meeting, I had just entered on that day, so I'm not too sure when I would have been given the opportunity to file this motion. So the timeliness, please forgive me, I'm really...
Before you continue, Ms. Kihoy, your motion was filed timely as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, mahalo. So now moving on. Yes, I am a pro se individual. I am trying my very best to assert my rights. And, I am a full-time working mother. I live in Kona. And I'm really try my best to understand this. So according to HRS 13-1-392, I strongly believe a substantial injustice would occur if my motion is denied on these grounds. I do not believe that PUEO should be granted mandatory intervention because they are trying to use their status as cultural practitioners when the construction of the TMT does not protect or preserve customary and traditional rights. And secondly, I do not believe that PUEO should be granted permissive intervention because their claim to enhance educational opportunities is adequately represented by UHH and TIO. Their position will not add any new relevant information, HAR 13-1-31C1. Other persons can show substantial interest in the matter, may be admitted as parties. The board may approve such requests if it finds that the requester's participation will substantially assist the board in its decision-making. The board may deny any request to the party when it appears that the position of the requester is substantially the same as the position of a party already admitted to the proceedings. And two, the admissions of additional parties will not add substantially new relevant information, or the addition will make proceedings inefficient and unmanageable. PUEO's interests are already being asserted by UHH and TIO and would not be helping this process at all. Thirdly, PUEO did not state any injury results would apply if they were not granted into this case. There was an argument whether I believe there was an argument whether I had been showing any injury. I am experiencing great injury, Your Honor. Deep psychological trauma, which is more painful than any physical injury that I've ever experienced. Being pulled apart while in Pule on April 2nd, while I'm standing in front of my child with my ohana on the summit, a place that I go to for healing, and as a domestic violence victim, this place that I go to for healing turned into a place of violence. And so I just would like to say that I am experiencing injury, and it's psychological trauma, and which is the reason why I'm here today. And my fourth reason, I have strong concern of the conflict of interest that is happening between BLNR and the board members and the founding members of PUEO. Stanley Rohrig, board member of the BLNR, has strong connections to Keahi Warfield, who is a member of PUEO. They both do share the same business address, 101 Aupuni Street, Suite 124, Hilo, Hawaii 96720. And there's no dispute on whether or not that there would be two separate buildings. It's the same suite number, and I've seen it for myself. And I believe that Keahi Warfield is a beneficiary of the TMT Think Foundation. And I strongly question the relationship between the board member, Stanley Rohrig, and Keahi Warfield. So, with all due respect, Your Honor, this is the motion, and that I created, and I stand by everything that I've presented. Sorry.
So Warfield is a member of the board for PUEO. Is that what you're saying? And then also, Mr. Rohrig is a member of the Board of Land and Natural Resources. And so therefore, PUEO should be disqualified from participation? Yes. Okay, and
I believe that.
Hold on a second. Let me give you back the mic so we can record it.
And I also believe that Stanley Rohrig should disqualify himself from voting or participating with any discussion of this matter. Well, yeah, and then also I want to say that Keahi Warfield was a beneficiary of the TMT-funded Think program with the Keokaha One Youth Development Program. Okay, nothing further.
TIO opposition 145.
Douglas Singh appearing on behalf of TIO. Judge, this motion should be denied because PUEO is a proper party. Their motion was supported by declarations of several Native Hawaiian members attesting to their exercise of customary and traditional practices on Mauna Kea. In contrast to the statements of PUEO, Ms. Kehoi's request to intervene simply states in a very conclusory fashion that she practices or worships on the Mauna Kea, but does not specify what those practices are. So her own motion to intervene does not meet her own standards, number one. Number two, PUEO is entitled to permissive intervention. There is not any other party in this proceeding that has a voice as unique as PUEO's. They are cultural practitioners. They speak with a very unique voice that's different from other cultural practitioners who are parties. And on that basis alone, Your Honor, they are not represented by any other party to this proceeding, and they should be heard on these issues as a party. Thank you.
And PUEO at document 155.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Lincoln Ashita, representing PUEO. Your Honor, I have nothing substantively additional to add to our response that was filed. As a matter of procedure, we contend that this is mostly or should be considered a motion for reconsideration under the rules, if that rule does apply to motions such as this. I don't believe that she's presented any new evidence that is not already out there in the public domain. PUEO has taken great, I think, effort in this case to be as inclusive as possible. We've been very selective in the motions that we've joined, and most notably in the motions we have not joined. Our position has always been that everybody has a place at the table. Everybody should have an opportunity to have their voices heard. I wasn't planning on coming up here to voice any objection to Ms. Kihoy's timeliness of the filing of her motion, because that's not what we're about. That's not what PUEO is about. It's about everybody having the right and the opportunity to be heard. Present the competent evidence before you, and you make the decision. You make the right decision. So that being said, I do have to defend PUEO because of the motion that was filed. I thank Ms. Kihoy for her sentiments that she expressed regarding no disrespect to PUEO. And PUEO's intent here is not to divide a community, but rather to unite it, to make sure that everybody has a voice. Whatever decision is made, that decision is Pono, and everybody can live with that decision. So on that basis, I have nothing further to add other than to invite Your Honor to ask any questions you have concerning the substantive motion. All right, thank you.
Ms. Quijo makes a good point. At the time we dealt with the motions for intervention, she was not a party able to take a position on whether or not PUEO or anybody else would be allowed to intervene. I do want to make it clear in the order, as well as my verbal order, that I granted the motion to intervene for PUEO because it was a discretionary decision under the rules, and I felt that PUEO's participation would assist me in learning about the issues and making the right decisions. And so it's that basis that I allowed PUEO in, until I saw Ms. Quijoy's other allegations about the parties. I had no knowledge of that stuff, but I don't see that as a basis to disqualify the organization as a whole from being a party. So I'm going to stand by my decision and respectfully deny the motion.